WV Uncommonplace. This podcast is a variety podcast that houses numerous series to cover mental health, empowerment, podcast framework, and various intimate theories to get to know the hosts. Along with occasional movies reviews and dives in pop culture with our event podcast episodes. The Uncommonplace guests that don't fit the mold and are very different. WV stands for the great state of West Virginia, and every quarter we cover something in West Virginia. Stacey and myself, JR, are your hosts, so please come along for this venture to our Uncommon Place.
Howdy, everybody. It's me, JR. One thing that I've learned in podcasting all these years is this one simple thing. Consistency is the greatest thing that you can have in podcasting. Even if you're making episodes into the future like I do, or batching a bunch of episodes so that you can have a curation start later on down the road. The number one thing I see people lose their mind over is going viral. When people think about going viral, a social media platform is going to take their algorithm, reward me with a sporadic spike, and that's what it will do. It will give you that sporadic spike. You'll see these numbers jump, and you'll think of this as something that you need to do, and it will form a type of high. It'll feel good, and it'll be a rush. But once you build a core audience, it will confuse them and break their trust. And then when you go viral, you don't know why you go viral actually. You'll have a definitive thing in the sense of, oh, it went viral because of certain words or actions. But your listeners will not know what to expect from you after this because they'll think that everything you do is a mark and you have to constantly keep it up. So me personally, what I've learned and what I've taken with me through and through is knowing that I have a reliable rhythm, a constant release schedule, a recognizable brand voice, and I don't have repeated segments on my show, which some great shows like Rod is Live and even King Germ's amazing show with his wife, Queen Germ the Star, Pod and Save My Marriage, they have segments and those things keep going. And those build a certain brand. Then the number two thing that I like to jump on, the actual podcasting industry allows companies like Mopod and different things like that get you genuine bought listeners. You'll get a spike then. And then the long-term growth, and I've seen this over time with shows, is that it's fake. We know it's fake. The sponsors, the platforms, we can all detect the fake engagement. So your credibility and your long-term growth will not work. And then someone will get mad when I say to build an organic community, build your community however you want. But if you don't build it organically, or you don't have a collaborative effort in your marketing with others, word of mouth, that is what will really hurt you. Then my number three thing, over promoting your show on the wrong platform. Someone will tell you, get on a platform that you are comfortable with and stay there and hope people listen to your show. That is a fucking lie. Think of it like this. When we were kids, we had a friend that delivered the newspaper. He delivered the newspaper to everyone that paid for the newspaper. And if it was a family member and he was giving them a free newspaper, he did that. But there were two ways he delivered this newspaper. They had a newspaper box, or it was delivered to their porch. So that's two deliveries right there that come in effect, that if you're not using them or thinking about them, you got to deliver to where your people are. So what I do with that, actually looking at where they're coming to listen to your show from. So if someone's coming from Pandora or from Amazon, well, guess what? Amazon Music is going to get the praise. Amazon Music is going to be the thing that I use to move more people towards my product. And with that being said, let's go on to the next thing. Ignoring your analytics and your audience feedback. You don't know how your show's resonating. In podcasting, that is something that you need to know. Now, me being strategic in what I do, I look across Spotify for podcasters. I look across Apple Podcast Connect. I even look on PodTrack. And I see what draws people inside my shows, made this show successful. And what I found, for example, I did a show on Frankie Beverly, who passed away in September of 2024. And when I did that show, I told a personal story that went along with it. I played a little bit of the music with permission. So make sure you get permission for the music. And that show has become my highest downloaded show ever, period. No ifs, ands, or buts to it. And the reason behind that, once I did the research on it, was very simple. The way I spoke about him, the way that the music personified my story. It was the first time as a podcaster that I realized that people gravitated to what I was talking about because my story resonated with them and it made a lot of sense. They were like, hey, I want to be a part of this. Hey, I need to know more about Frankie Beverly. Hey, this song's kind of catchy. Hey, this song will help me through a breakup, or it did help me through a breakup growing up. So you see right there, my key in what I do is I am Mr. Nostalgia. So I'm going to touch you with nostalgia. Nostalgia is going to bring you around to me, and we're going to see where we're going to go from there. So that's my strategy. And the last thing that will tear up a podcast, that will eliminate your podcast, is this one thing. And it happened to me, and I lost listeners behind this. I focused so much on growth that I didn't care about retention. So I had to decide, could I do something that would not risk me losing listeners on first impression and make people want to stay around? So on that note, I invested more into my content, into my community. I made sure the storytelling, the listening interaction, I made a place that they would like to come to. So once I did this, it made my show a whole lot better. But the key things that I did here, just recapping everything, is I made sure that even though in a 30-day period, it's not that I jumped on every single platform like every day, but in a 30-day cycle, I meet all of my listeners at their doorstep, just like the kid throwing the newspaper, paper boy or paper girl. I'm out there slinging that newspaper, making sure it gets to who they need to get to. So, in closing, think about your podcast like running a newspaper route. You already got customers because they like what you do, but how do you gain more customers? That should be the philosophy there. So on that note, I'm JR, and we'll let the outro do what it does.
Please follow WV Uncommonplace on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, where we have some great content, Facebook, LinkedIn. Hit up the merch store at oncommonplace.square.site. Join the email list from the website, and rate, subscribe, and give feedback from your favorite podcatcher. And lastly, thanks for listening, and tune into the next episode.